Well, now it's time for Your Money with Joe Lynam.
Hello and welcome to Your Money. In a moment we'll be looking at a plan to guide young people through the shark-infested waters of APRs and ISAs and other financial mumbo-jumbo which firms try to bamboozle us with. But first, Britain's largest gas supplier, British Gas, posted profits of over £500 million last week. But charities say they are giving older and more vulnerable customers poor service and should be using some of those huge profits to provide better advice. Sarah Pennells has been talking to one British Gas customer about his experience.
Doug Savin has been a British Gas customer for 60 years and has a maintenance contract with them for his boiler. When he had his annual service 2 weeks ago, there was bad news. The engineer said there was a gas leak.
Once he said that they had detected the gas, he said that we could not use the boiler anymore. And he put a red label on it condemning it. Not only that, he disconnected all the pipes to make sure that we couldn't use it on safety grounds.
British Gas quoted Doug a price of just under £4,000 to install a new boiler. He felt uneasy about the amount, but with temperatures of -5 the night before, he reluctantly agreed.
He gave me a quotation, which at the time I did say to him, look, I'm not very happy with this, with the price actually. Because of being so cold in that situation, I thought, well, we've got to get it in to get some heat into the house.
Doug had his new boiler installed within 2 days, but it was only then he discovered he could have had the work done for less than half the price. Based on the British Gas invoice, Doug's son got quotes from 20 independent contractors. He says the average price for the same work was around £1,600, a figure backed by our own inquiries. Age Concern says this is not an isolated case.
Age Concern has come across a number of older people who feel they've been given high and perhaps uncompetitive quotes by British Gas for this kind of work. We would certainly say to people that they should not rely on loyalty alone when making a decision about an important piece of work such as this. It can be quite costly.
And Citizens Advice says that some of the £500 million profits that British Gas announced this week should be redirected to give customers a better deal.
We'd like to see British Gas invest some of these profits in customer service, in making real improvements to this customer service, as I'm sure with many of their customers. And these are often very vulnerable people, the poor, those living on low income, the elderly. So we're calling on British Gas to really sort this out.
British Gas say the price they charged Mr Savin was fair, that he agreed to it in advance, and he should have got alternative quotes before the work was done. In a statement they say, it was not just a case of replacing a very old boiler, and we don't feel the alternative quotes compare like with like. We also carried out significant upgrade work on Mr Savin's central heating, and our price included a year's home care maintenance agreement as well. Many British Gas customers have stayed with the company out of loyalty and because they trust a familiar name. The lesson from Mr Savin's experience may be that however loyal a customer you've been, when it comes to big sums of money, it usually pays to shop around. Sarah Pennells, BBC News.
And a quick look at some of the main personal finance news this week. Childless women are more likely to put in overtime than men without children. That's according to a report from the Trades Union Congress. However, fathers put in the highest number of extra hours, working an average of 8 hours overtime a week. The report from the TUC also found that 5 million employees in the UK do unpaid overtime and saved employers around £25 billion last year. It was the end of the road for the 125% mortgage this week. These were banks and building societies lend you the full value of the house plus a quarter. Birmingham Midshires was the last of the top lenders to drop this type of loan, blaming market factors. The deals had been criticised for allowing buyers to take on large debts which some would find hard to repay. And despite some of the doom and gloom out there, online shoppers have been very busy on the internet. Internet shoppers spent a whopping £4.5 billion on the web last month, a 75% jump on the same time last year. But the amount spent fell slightly compared with December. Research from Interactive Media in Retail Group reckoned we spent the equivalent of £74 per person online in January. Now, do you know your APRs from your AERs? Do you know your ISAs from your PEPs? Well, if you do, you should probably be working for a bank. Most young people, though, don't know these and many other financial acronyms. Two leading charities are hoping to change all that. From today, Citizens Advice and YouthNet launched their new service using types of technology that 16 to 25-year-olds prefer, i.e. the web, podcasts and mobile phones. The charities hope to reach up to 500,000 young people with help on how to best manage their money. And with me now is Fiona Dawes from YouthNet. This stuff really matters, Fiona, doesn't it? This is not just for the financially literate.
No, because actually it's, to use the jargon, it's a bit like a basic life skill. If you don't know how to budget, you don't know how to look at how to interpret your first wage slip, or how to look at your mobile phone bill, and increasingly, you know, young people are in FE and HE with loans. So there's quite a lot of confusion and worry around this area.
What's the difference between providing financial services advice to young people with older people?
Well, actually, a lot of the basic information is very similar, but it's the way that you have to explain things. And also, many young people don't think that mainstream advice services actually are for them. They think they're for other people. And if you remember back to when you were 17, that acute embarrassment about everything in life, it was all too difficult and confusing, and therefore many of them think it's too stupid to ask basic questions like, how do I make a budget?
And that's why you're using this website,
yes.
the site.org. Now we have that on the screen at the moment, and there's a lot of information on that.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about what's on this website.
Well, the site.org is essentially the first stop shop for everything for 16 to 25-year-olds. And we developed specifically the money section in partnership with the Citizens Advice. But you can find out about lots and lots of different things if you go and have a look. The fact sheets that we've got on there cover all sorts of, you know, basic information that people can have. But there are lots of other things that you can do, because increasingly young people also trust and support, get support from other young people. So there's a huge online community. We're all talking nowadays about, you know, Web 2 and social networking.
And you guys teamed up with Citizens Advice. I presume that's of benefit for Citizens Advice because they might be perceived from a slightly older audience.
Absolutely, but I think it's together we really can do more, because they are absolutely the experts. They've got a long history of doing this information, and they've got all the technical advice. YouthNet has got tremendous reach, and we've got lots of different approaches. We're very keen to get the information to where young people are. So together, we can actually reach more of them, really.
Fiona Dawes from YouthNet, thank you very much for joining us. And that's the personal finance news for now. If you have got any questions, please do get in touch. Drop us an email at mymoney@bbc.co.uk or text us at 61124. More personal finance news, of course, on the website, bbc.co.uk/money. Back to you, Adam.
Thank you very much.